Yes, nonsense and analysis. Yeah, hi, dear viewer. So, yeah, when I look back a few days, there was a very interesting match that happened. And the match was actually in China between two super grandmasters, Wei Yi versus Levan Aronian. And yeah, I mean, both players world class, of course, and but of course, Aronian, the more experienced player who has been there in the past and has played, at the highest level for a number of years. So obviously, a very good match for Wei Yi to have to gain the necessary experience at that level. Yeah, Wei Yi in the classical. So the match was very interesting. There were actually three legs: the classical, the rapid, and then the blitz. And with different scoring systems, classical scoring 2 points for a win, and in a rapid one, and then and blitz. But Wei Yi won one classical game, which is the one that we're going to have a look at now, and he won all the rapid games against Aronian. So as a result of that, they never actually got to play the Blitz because Wei Yi had already won the match. Um, yeah, what attracted me to the match was the relative ease in which Wei Yi beat Aronian. Uh, of course, okay, then it means that Aronian was not in the best of shape, form-wise, but it also shows that Wei Yi is steadily wanting to also be a contender and raise his hand as one of the players who can challenge for the World Championship. And yeah, very exciting. I hope that, they get more players to play against Wei Yi in China, and we shall see. We shall be looking at the progress. Anyway, let's have a look at the game that was played. This is it comes from the classical uh, side of things. And the way he was playing with the white pieces, this was the win. So they had played this in a couple of rounds, and Aronian managed to equalize. So, but Wei repeats this. Very solid Italian uh, opening, all the rage these days. And D5, yeah, D5 has been played for a number of games. Takes on D5, rook E1, bishop G4, knight D2, knight B6, and plays B4. Yeah, B4 is not a main line, but it's definitely one of the lines that has been played for a number of, uh, for a while. Bishop E7 has been played, and now just interesting. Because the game went so smoothly, I went back and I checked. I was trying to check, was there any new improvements that were there in the game? And yeah, I realized here that in the past they played A4 and some other move, Queen B3 or something, I don't remember. But where he played Bishop B5, I think this is the new move in the position. It doesn't alter much, but it just shows how difficult the position is. So Aronian plays F6, he plays D4. So what are we having? We're having a couple of weaknesses. Like, for example, the square E6 has now become quite weak. And with the rook on E1, breathing down its neck, so to speak, we can see that white wants to do something there on E1. So it takes, and then Queen B3 check, this sidesteps the pin. King H8 was played. So yeah, the engine suggests maybe here Rook F7 as an option. And there's a point to this, because Rook F7 will protect the bishop. Let us imagine that white plays the same way as in the game. Let's say bishop takes C6 and knight takes D4. So the position is very, very interesting strategically, because what we are having is that we are having a position where white structure is actually intact, and white and black, this position is riddled with weaknesses. However, black has got the two bishops, and black is fully developed, so to speak. Well, except the rook. I mean, but I'm saying in comparison to white, right? I mean, white's bishop on c1 hasn't moved yet. The rook on a1 hasn't moved. So hence, the computer is thinking, the engine thinks that this way of playing queen d5 and to play like this, right? To give a pawn, and maybe the way that Aronian should have considered playing it. And it makes a lot of sense because, as we can see, the white pieces are not yet out, and black has full compensation, right? I mean, if you play queen takes d5, I think knight takes d5 in this position, this could be dangerous even for white because you look at just the weaknesses that white has in the position. Look at the weak d3 square, and there could be some good play here for black. Well, but not that white is obviously forced to continue in that way. But after queen b3 check, Aronian played king h8, fairly normal looking move. Now Wei Yi takes on c6 and takes on d4. Aronian plays bishop d7. Yeah, this is a little bit maybe too passive. Queen d7 again maybe was to be preferred. And now after knight takes c6, to treat it as a gambit, play it gambit style, play bishop d6. You got the two bishops. It reminds one of ideas like, in a martial game. If you remember, the Fox trainer did touch on the martial gambit on the channel. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at the martial gambit was touched upon very beautifully. And there was basically a mini course on it. So this does remind one of that, right? Bishops pointing on the king and a lot of activity. So this could have been another way to play. So very interesting, and I think it shows how a little bit out of shape Aronian is, because he's normally a very active player. And in many interviews, he actually complains and says sometimes he finds himself playing too actively, right? In some instances where maybe a simpler approach would have been okay. But here he plays too passively, it seems. Okay, 94 now. We're starting to see white taking control. The square c5, the square e6. The knights are coordinating very nicely, and black is quite passive, plays rook e8. Bishop d2 is a beautiful move, wanting to bring the rook into the game. Knight c5. Now the square e6 is calling, and queen f7 is a very, very nice idea. Basically, it's very difficult for black to drive the king out. Rook f8 is not there because the bishop on e7 would be hanging. He takes on c5, takes back, knight d5, and he pushes the knight away with c4. It looks harmless, the position, and Aronian plays 97, but 97 turns out to be the main problem in the position. Maybe you can pause the video here and you could see what you would play here as white, right? Okay, back. Did you manage to find the move? Well, the move is quite spectacular. Bishop h6. What a move. And certainly a move that Aronian did not anticipate. Otherwise, he would not have played 97. Yeah, the idea, of course, is that, I will just simply, you have to take. I mean, you don't have any other option, right? You have to take. 96 happens. 96 is a very nice move because if you play as you should, you don't have any other option but to play bishop takes e6. But now I will take on f6 check and then take on e6 again with check. So in this position, rook d1, the rook is going to enter d7 if you move queen c8. Beautiful concept, rook d7. So tries knight d5 and then knight b5, and the king is wide open, and Aronian didn't manage to defend this position. Another rook is brought in, h3. Yeah, the king is in no man's land, so to speak. And he resigned. He resigned here. A very, very nice game by Wei Yi. And yeah, the rapid games as well. If you check the match, they were also riddled with some tactical mistakes. Well, at the highest level by Aronian. So yeah, a good win for Wei Yi, and I'm sure he's going to pick up some few points, elo points, and very, very valuable, of course, at that level. And but more importantly, he's going to pick up some experience and preparation and facing a world-class grandmaster like Aronian. So yeah, let's see what will happen next. So it looks like China wants to get the world championship back. You know, the championship that was lost by Ding Liren, they are now banking on Wei Yi to go and get it back. Yeah, let's see how that will end. So yeah, we just crossed my sort of my vision, no? When I was looking at a number of things. I found this very interesting, this match. So because it promises something for the future, when we look at Wei Yi. Well, let's see what will happen. So if you did like that, please do share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll meet again in another very interesting feature where we'll find some interesting happenings around the world of chess. Yeah, till then, checkmate.